Hey YouTube, Flux here, and coming at you with another video. Just wanted to talk about credit cards. I think it's important, and I have friends that don't care. It's not a big deal. They're just, I'll deal with it later. I don't need a credit card now. I can get one later. Well, when later comes and you want to get that car that you want, you're not going to be able to get that car because you don't have a credit history. So when you go to ask for that car and you go to ask a bank for money for that car, they're not going to give you that money because they're going to say, oh, you don't have any credit history, we can't trust you. And that's what a credit report, credit history is all about. It pretty much is just trust, showing that you have the ability to take care of your payments, take care of your money, and be able to pay things accordingly and on time. So I'm looking at my account right here, and this shows one of my credit cards. So my current balance is $13.45. It's not even on here, and I'll explain to that in a minute. Total credit available, cash credit line available, $200. So that's if I go to the bank, put it in my credit card, I can take out $200. I can't take out the total credit limit because they just don't do that, and that's how it is. But you shouldn't be doing that anyway. If you're pulling out cash, that probably means you don't have any money in your checking account, and then you're probably not going to be able to pay off the money that you pull out. So don't even do that. You need a credit card to be responsible. If it just literally involves you getting a card and putting your Netflix on it, put the card in the drawer, shred the card. As long as the card's you're not tempted to use that card again, then do it. If that's what you gotta do it, because getting those late payments, if you miss a payment, hitting late fees and APR, it's a whole other story, and you don't want to have to do with that. That stays on your credit report when you miss a payment and you pay late fees. That stays on your credit report for a while, and you don't want to do that. It just doesn't look good. I have a 100% payment history. I mean, if you're gonna pay your credit card, just pay the minimum. You're gonna you're gonna get hit with APR. And when you get hit with APR, that's the bank charging you money for not giving them their money back. So don't do that. You want that Xbox? Oh, I'll just put it on my credit card and pay off the minimum over the months. Don't do that, because that $400 Xbox is going to turn into a $900 Xbox, and it's going to take you more than a year to pay that off. So just don't put yourself through that. It's not necessary. So now the next thing we're looking at here is next closing date, which is already passed. That was yesterday. Technically, it's 2 in the morning right now, but that was yesterday, so my payment's closed and that's done. And then it's my payment due date. So my payment due date's on the 19th, and then my closing date is on the 22nd. So let's say it's the beginning of the month, beginning of this month, September. Now let's say I charge my card up to $100. Just whatever you charge. You bought groceries, and grocery costs $100, and you don't use the card since. And if this is new, if you have a new credit card, like this is the first time, this is how this will work. So 9/22 will come along. I know I passed 9/19, but that's like I said again. If you have a new credit card, 9/22 will come along, and that's the closing date. So that's when that $100 is going on that statement. Now let's say 9/23 comes along, which will, and you charge another $10 to that card. Okay, well that $10 isn't gonna come around until next month. So 9/22 happens. Okay, now next month 10/19 comes. That's when you'll pay that $100. And then if still you don't charge anything up till 10/22, then it'll close off, and that next month will be nothing. But now when 10/19 comes along, you're gonna pay that $10. I know it's confusing, but that's how that works. So when you have a credit card, so last month, I paid last month's on the 19th, and then it closes on 9/22, and now next month on 10/19, I pay all the money I spent on 9/22. I know it's confusing, and it's kind of hard to explain, but that's the best I can explain it. But that's pretty much what I'm trying to tell you, is that you just need to keep an eye on what you're buying, how you spend your money, and to spend it responsibly. Like I said, put it on Netflix, buy a coffee, and then not use it again. That's all you gotta do. Set it to auto pay. That's important. At least if you want to pay more than the minimum and you want to choose how much you pay, that's okay. But at least set the minimum. At least set it to pay the minimum. That's simple to do. They all do it, and just pay the minimum. So let's say I forgot, and then you just say the next day or a couple days later, then you pay that extra $30 or whatever you charge on the card. No problem. You're gonna get hit with APR though, so that's what hurts. So APR is just the bank's way of, like I said, charging you money for not paying your card on time. In full, on time. On time and in full are two different things. So on time is, like I said, at the end of your payment due date. That's on time. But the next closing date does not have anything to do with that. So that's just my take on credit cards. I just want to kind of simplify it and make people understand that when you have a credit card, in order to build up that credit history, you need to just spend it wisely and not use it a lot. Credit bureaus look at how often you use your cards and how much you spend versus your credit limit. So if you're spending 70% of your credit limit, that looks really bad. You don't want to spend that much at all. Like I said, don't spend very much at all, and get a couple credit cards if you're responsible. Get a couple credit cards, that way you have a bigger overall credit limit. And that bigger credit limit is how credit bureaus will be able to gauge how much you're spending. So that way you can not max out one card, but you can use them equally. Again, I'm reiterating, if you're responsible. If you're not responsible, just don't touch it. I advocate for credit cards and I advocate for getting them, and I've said this before, but my teacher, he advocated for them for, he's like, as soon as you turn 18, go out and get a credit card and just charge one thing to it a month. Barely use it and just pay it off that month. Don't use it a lot. Don't buy an Xbox with it if you don't have the money for that Xbox. Just put coffee on it and not touch it until next month. And that's just what will help you build credit. It builds it slowly, but it builds it. So every time you get a new card, every time you make what are called hard inquiries, is when you apply for a new credit card. So whether you get approved or denied, you're going to get a hard inquiry, and those start to look bad when you have a lot of them. So don't apply for a lot of credit cards. Don't get a lot of credit cards. You don't need them. Just get one or two, maybe three, and then use them evenly or not, or just keep them at home and then puts your Hulu on one, Netflix on the other, maybe a cable bill on the other one, whatever you want, and just set it to auto pay and just know that you're paying that off every month. That's all you gotta do. It's confusing, but it's really simple. I mean, once you have your card, you go to your bank. If you're young and you turn 18, most likely you're not going to get approved by any just special credit card with, cash back or anything like that. You're just going to get a credit card that has a credit limit. That's it. Put your coffee on it. I keep saying this, put your coffee on it, and that's it. Don't touch it till next month. I mean that, because if you start putting other things on it, you're not going to have enough money in your account to pay it off. And then you're just screwed. Now, there are other situations where people have that kind of money and have the responsibility to go to a coffee shop and then go buy an Xbox and then still be able to pay that off. That's okay, as long as you're not hitting that credit limit and that overall credit limit. That just looks bad on your credit report, and it's not good. It's not good for your credit, and it's not good if you can't pay it off. But like I was saying, if you can pay it off, fine. One more time, if your credit cards say $500 credit limit, you spend $400 on it, don't do that. Just buy it on your debit card, put it on your debit card, because it doesn't look good. It just really doesn't. So that's all I have for today. I know this was about 8 minutes, but I just want to make a short video about credit cards and something kind of simplified about them. I have a ton of them. I have 11 of them. The more, not the merrier, in certain situations. If you can handle them, you can get more credit cards, and credit lenders like to see that you can handle a wide variety of your credit. You get more credit and you use it responsibly, and then later down the line when you want to go buy that car, you're going to get that loan and you're going to get a low APR because they trust you with that money. And that's the whole thing about credit. If you want to buy a house, you have to get a loan from the bank. You have to take out a mortgage. That mortgage doesn't just pay the $500,000 for the house that you're trying to buy. That includes the monthly APR they're going to charge you more for, because you're lending money from the bank. The longer you have their money, the more money they're going to charge you. That's just how it is. People got to make their money somehow. They sure know how to do it. So, another question quickly that I actually had when my teacher was talking about credit cards is, well, why give those features? I have a card here somewhere in this pile of cards by American Express Gold. that card has a $300 annual fee. That's a harsh thing, that's harsh. But because I know credit cards and I've looked into them, I see the benefits overweighing that $200. One right off the bat. If I go on I take this card with me and I go on a flight and I buy food on that flight, they will pay for the food. Up to $100 a year. That's $100 right off if I use that in the year. It's useful for me because I can use it for me and my family when we go on trips. And I don't have to pay that money back because the bank or American Express takes it off for me. And those are things that come with higher end cards and better cards that you won't get and you don't need. You just get the smallest rinky-dink card that your bank has to offer and just keep that and don't use it. Alright guys, so that's all I have for today. I just really think it's important to understand how they work, and you need to have responsibility. I mean, I can't imagine it being that hard for someone to get a credit card and just putting their Netflix on it. Shred the card. If you don't think you can handle it, you gotta know you can't handle it. First off, admitting a addiction is admitting it. I said that all wrong, but the first thing to recovery is admitting the problem. You have to know that if you get a credit card and it has $500 on it, you have to know that I'm not going to go to Nordstrom's and spend $500. I'm not going to go buy that Xbox just because I can, because the bank will give me that money. It doesn't look good. It really doesn't look good. So that's all I have for you guys. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up, please. I know this is a routine thing for everyone else, but if you didn't like it, leave a thumbs down. I don't know why you wouldn't, but to each is their own. I can't please everyone. Leave comments down below. Anything I missed, I'd like to talk more about this. This is just kind of a quick video that I want to get out there for everyone to see and hopefully see. And I'd like to talk more about it if people want to know more about it. I know a little bit about credit cards, and I can go in more depth if people seem to like this video. There's another guy I'll put up here. I think his name, I know his name, but his name's Graham, I think. It's like his last name, something like that. I'll put his profile up here for YouTube. He's got some great videos on talking about try to live like you're broke when you're younger, even though most people are anyway. But really try to live like you're broke and take some money and invest it, because when you're in your 20s and you invest that in your 30s, you're going to get a lot of that back. Talks a whole bunch about that stuff. I like him. I really advocate for him. I never met him or anything, but he seems like a really cool guy. He knows what he's talking about, just as much as like I do. I mean, I don't, but I know a little bit, and that's what I know. So anything I missed, guys, please let me know. Alright? I'll see you in the next one. I like that little snappy-doo there thing, and that was kind of dumb, and so was talking about it, but here we are. Alright, guys, I'll see you in the next one.